In today's video, we're going to talk about how to make a brainstorm sheet in order to reduce the intimidation and the difficulty of the lyric writing process. Hey friend, this is Joseph Vidala from Songwriter Theory, and today we're going to talk about one of my personal favorite parts of the lyric writing process, and that is creating a brainstorm sheet. It is so intimidating to go all the way from here's just an idea to hey, let's write a lyric. So a great way to make that less intimidating is to actually put a step in between when we're really developing the song idea. Because if we just have a song idea that's basically a single line or a title or a symbol that we want to work off of, it's a pretty large leap to go from that all the way to full lyric. A good middle ground is to create this brainstorm sheet. So we're actually going to go to the computer and I'm going to walk you through the process that I go through in order to make a brainstorm sheet. So let's dive in and create a brainstorm sheet together. What I have up right now is actually my idea sheet. I talked about that in a previous video, so if you want to check that out, I will link to that in the cards in the top right corner. So for now, we're going to just pick this song, and we're going to develop that. I already made a folder for it ahead of time, working title being just another memory based on that quote that we have here, and then just created this blank brainstorm sheet. One of the first things I like to do is go to Google Images to grab images because art inspires other art. For example, I have an artist friend who does drawings and stuff like that. He likes to listen to music that inspires him. Brandon Sanderson, if you know who he is, a famous fantasy writer and sci-fi writer. He says that while he writes his novels, he likes to go find instrumental music that has the feeling like a soundtrack for the scene that he's writing. So in the same way, we can go in the opposite direction where we go find art. So let's just type just another memory art. Start with that, go to images, and see if there's anything that we like. So this is something interesting, and this is all going to be very subjective, right? It's whatever inspires you. I find this decently interesting. I don't know if I want it yet. Let's take a look. These images are not exactly what I'm looking for, because this is sort of about a relationship. But I kind of like how this is faded a little bit. Memories over time become hazy. You start to forget really exactly what people look like. So I just like to right-click. If you're using Google Docs, which you should, I just like to right-click and copy image, and then you can throw it in there. These pictures are not really working for me now. Let's just do memory art. Let's try that. Okay. Here's an interesting one. I like, again, how it's sort of fading out a little bit. Grab that. Add that to the document. Let's shrink these down a little bit. They don't need to be so big. Okay, I kind of like that. But let's get something a little different. I really like this one. So there's a bunch of faces, differing levels of clear as a part of a tree. Memory tree, hand-painted art. I really like that one. Normally, I would spend even more time on this. I really like to find 3 to 5 really solid images. But for the sake of showing off the sort of the purpose of a brainstorm sheet, we have images now to sort of work off of. So now, a good thing to do is to just write ideas. So for example, first thing I'm going to do is actually rip this quote out, because this is sort of at the heart of what inspired the song. And now, I'm just going to write some things that I'm seeing here. I just wrote all that sort of just stream of consciousness. And again, there's nothing great here yet. It's just developing. The idea is you're just sort of spouting out ideas on the page. So I often like to use bulleted lists too. So really the whole idea of this brainstorm sheet is we sort of have some images to inspire us, which will also help with music writing, right? Because to some extent, what you see here, the visuals here, are going to inspire certain music. There's a lot of grays here. There's a lot of darker tones. It's kind of faded out, right? None of these pictures are really clear. There's sort of this idea of a memory fading. So that's going to somewhat inspire the music. So that's sort of what the pictures are there for, but the pictures are also there to somewhat inform some of the lyrics and some of the direction that the story might end up going. And again, as I continue with this brainstorm sheet, I'll probably replace some of these images for the sake of time for this video. I just want to show you the idea of it. But the idea of this sheet is really to prevent yourself from starting to try to write the lyric before you're ready. You're gathering ideas. There's a lot of ideas to work with in here, and maybe none of them are good, but as we keep writing more stuff that we're not trying to make it lyrics, we're not trying to give it the right amount of syllables, we're not trying to rhyme lines, we're just developing the core part of the song. And this will help us so that when we actually do get to something much harder, you gotta match syllables, right? You have to get it rhythmically correct. You might rhyme a lot in the song, you might not rhyme. That's gonna be more difficult, but it's gonna be a lot easier if you really start to flesh out the idea with a brainstorm sheet first. So don't put extra pressure on lyric writing that you don't need. Jumping from idea to lyric is a huge leap. It's like a 6-foot leap. You may or may not make it. But if there's a stepping stone in the middle to help you cross this river, right, where now you only have to jump 3 feet and then jump 3 feet again, that is much, much, much easier. And that's what we're trying to do with this brainstorm sheet. If you found this video helpful, something you'll find even more helpful is my 6-step lyric writing checklist. The brainstorm sheet is actually just step 2 of that 6-step process that will take you all the way from song idea to lyrics that you can be proud of. You can pick it up totally free at songwritertheory.com/lyric checklist. Link will be in the description. If you enjoyed this video and learned something from it, be sure to drop a like. That helps me out with the YouTube algorithm so that more people can find this content, so that more people can learn how to songwrite. If you're interested in learning more about songwriting, be sure also to subscribe and click that little notification bell so you know when new videos come out. I have videos coming out about songwriting every single week. So if you want to be a part of that journey, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will talk to you next time.